As humans, we learn mainly from trying and failing. For example, at age 1, when most of us started to walk, or at least try to walk, we kept falling down over and over again. We probably don't remember any of that, but most of us still remember learning how to cycle. At least I do. I was around 5 years old and I remember every fall and every scratch I got. I wanted to start by mentioning how we learn to make my point clear. When it comes to reading, this is actually the most interesting benefit. We get to learn things without having to try and fail. There is this one quote that actually says it all. Only a fool learns from his own mistakes. The wise man learns from the mistakes of others. By reading, you can learn without trying and failing. Which takes us to the first reason why you should read. Reading saves you a lot of time. By reading both fiction and non-fiction books, you can save up the time of trial and error by reading few pages. You can find books about marketing or business or any other topic that are the result of 10 years of experience, and you get to absorb all of that knowledge in one book, and sometimes even just few pages. The same applies to fiction books. Novels, short stories, they are all a whole other world. You can see the characters as real people, making the same mistakes as normal people. You follow them around, you look at their lives from outside. You can judge them and make fun of their choices, but the wise ones absorb these stories and events to use them later on in their lives. Most people do this all the time, often unconsciously. They do it with stories, but also with movies. And I'll specify later why reading is the best way to achieve this. 2. Reading improves imagination. It's pretty similar to the first one. When you have a good imagination, you won't wait around to read books, then learn from them. You start creating your own scenarios. You imagine situations before they even happen, and you draw conclusions from them. This part is quite simple, and that's because the idea is a projection of the first one. You can become wise, as we mentioned in the quote, by playing the scenes in your head, or even writing them down, then drawing conclusions and lessons. 3. Reading is actually fun. Reading can be a fun activity. Bookworms know this already. You can ask anyone who loves reading, someone who maybe started reading at an early age. Their parents made them or taught them the skill, and so they grew to love it more and more. But for those of us who don't feel this way yet, the only way is to simply stick to the habit for some time, and maybe start little by little at first. And please do yourself a favor and pick up a book about a topic that you actually love. Maybe if you were a Harry Potter fan, it is a no-brainer that you should read the novels. 4. Reading is a calm way to learn, especially in the modern times where we learn from videos like this one, or even TikToks, which are way terrible than normal YouTube videos because of their length. When you read from a book, you build more connections between your thoughts, and you link things that you learned today with things that you may have learned a year ago. It's like a web, a spider web. You can imagine your neurons growing and forming a web. It's actually beautiful. And it happens only when you read, because you take the time to think about what you read. I usually find myself looking at the ceiling just after reading a few sentences to process my thoughts. And videos don't give us that, because we believe we should watch the video from start to finish, which is really a bad idea. We should always pause the video and think. If you find something interesting, write it down as you would do if it was a book. Or maybe pause the video and look at the ceiling.